What up, what up? We're back. It's Friday. I have been sick all week. I don't know what I got, but couldn't miss today. We've got some really interesting charts to look at, things to wrap up from earlier in the week. We are currently playing. Shout out to Adam Random for giving us these beats on Monday. I'll put this SoundCloud, hopefully meant for it to be public. Put the SoundCloud link to this jam in the chat. Forgive me, because, man, I'm going to do my best here. It was rough, but I couldn't stay away. I really wanted to just sleep in today, not stream, take it easy, but the charts demand it. We have some stuff to look at, and so the show must go on. Bitcoin. Let's just kick it off here. We'll go through some of these charts really quick, and we'll go more in depth in them. Bitcoin actually putting in a week here. After kind of the jump scare that was this candle formation on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, matching, I don't know, perfectly identically to this string of candles back in 22 before a major crash down in price. We were looking basically for this week. We have one condition to be met here into the next 2 days of trading over the weekend, and that is, man, I need to see a higher high. That would separate what we're seeing right now from this cataclysmically crappy price action we had back in 22. We can see a lower high kicked off a very, very sad sell-off into the bear market blues, and as it is right now, 2 days and 9 hours, this candle's looking pretty good. If we can trade just a little bit higher, and when I say a little bit, I mean just ever so slightly higher. 74,000. We've all but tapped it earlier this morning. Now back down to 72.2, but holding on to those gains pretty well. And in my opinion, not done. Not done. I think we can see higher today and into the weekend. That would differentiate these candles, and that would make maybe a more bullish picture going into the FOMC next week. That's going to be, for God's sakes, I don't even know. It's going to be Chirpow's second to last FOMC ever. That's all we get. Cherish it. So you need to be there. Make me this pinky promise that you will be there on Wednesday next week, the 18th. 18th? Next week on Wednesday for the FOMC right here. We gotta make it special. I'll make it special. We have the FOMC next week, and we have, what do we got? Q4 GDP revision from last year. I said this on Monday. The data. At this point, I'm not even sure how. I think the Fed is going to be like vibe coding or vibe fiscal policying at this point, because the data just seems completely undependable. That revision was down from like 1.6%. It's down to 0.7. Don't quote me there, but big downward revision on GDP growth. And in the same period, inflation was still like their PPI was still like 3.1 or something. Inflation heavily outweighing that GDP growth. We heard a lot of rhetoric of we can outgrow inflation, which on paper could happen, but in reality is clearly not. With what's going on again, still in Iran, oil prices are incredibly volatile. We're going to get to oil here in just a second. Bitcoin is really mixing it up into this critical time period. It could be very interesting if we see a break above 74,000. I'm getting dyslexic already. And obviously any additional upside price action this weekend would be cherry on top. But things could get very interesting into this next week coming. We had some data today. Let's see. Core PCE 0.4 at 0.4. Prelim, here it is. Prelim GDP quarter over quarter. Actual 0.7. While the forecast is 1.4. That is a huge miss. And it seems like every time these numbers come out, we get another huge miss. And if it isn't right away, it's a revision. What in the hell's going on? Without being able to depend on this data as maybe not even if it's like truth from God being handed down to us that these numbers are correct. Without even just being able to say, man, this data is at least right enough that everyone is going to kind of use the same numbers, let's say. It's correct enough that we all can accept it. That's important to the markets. What value is it? Not very. Not very. At this point, I would say that the Fed, I'll say like 90% chance of a pause because, again, it's Powell's second to last FOMC. He does not want to ruin his legacy on the way out. He's not going to cut, guys. That's crazy. A cut is crazy. A cut's absolutely insane, especially if oil prices continue rallying. There's no, doesn't even make sense. We've all been drinking the crazy fiscal policy juice for a few years here, and it's time to face reality. That's just not how we use these tools. I would say like 90% pause, which is what is expected, and then maybe even some percent on the table of a hike. We've talked about this in the past. In the last minutes for January's FOMC minutes, they said that if the data reflects it, hikes are on the table. That was in the notes. That was maybe the biggest takeaway of the notes. Huge. The Fed rate monitor tool isn't really reflecting anything. Just saying no change. That's not really a surprise to anybody. Durable goods, personal income down from forecast, not much. Personal spending above forecast. Personal income down from forecast. Ain't that 2026? Ain't that 2026? U.S. prelim GDP price index. I'll have to look this one up more. 3.8 above forecast. That seems like a good thing. Monday. Industrial production on Monday. 𝐒𝐴TKIN speaks on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Interesting. That we might cover that. 𝐒𝐴TKIN is actually interesting to cover here for us. And then, of course, the FOMC on Wednesday. Big stuff coming in. Bitcoin looking the best it's looked. And, I mean, this is an easy call. The best it's looked in 6 weeks. Maybe more. That's a solid candle. 9.3, 9.4% on the week. And what is nice about it is what we've been talking about maybe for the last 2 or 3 weeks is all of these oscillators and indicators are just rock bottom. Maybe not projecting out a bear market bottom necessarily, a guaranteed only up from here, signal or anything like that, but certainly reflecting periods where we've seen some incredible bounces and, in fact, bear market bottoms. Weekly RSI is the lowest it's ever been, right? Was it weekly the lowest it's ever been? No, it's maybe the 2 week or the month or something, 2 week. Last time, though, it was this low, was the bear market bottom. A lot of you were talking about Stoch RSI. You guys know how I feel about that. I ranted about it forever. Curling back up, I don't know. This is not, I don't think is super important, but hey, we'll throw it on there as another example of just things rolling over. We've had a lot of downward momentum. We've had very little upward momentum. And maybe the bull's turn is back up. And at this point, your guess is as good as mine as to what that means. If we look at the 4-year cycle, I think that would point to just a failed rally somewhere in the 80K area. Not bad. Not super exciting, but there are other things going on that might suggest more. We are in unprecedented times, as we have said probably every time ever since we started on this channel. Remember when 2020 happened and we had COVID and we're like, oh, what a bad year. Oh, what a fluke. What a bad year. Apparently, I think it's just like the whole decade. Apparently, the whole 2020 has just seemed pretty shitty. So let's get these out of the way. And it certainly would be made a little bit sweeter if Bitcoin pulled a surprise on us, did something a little exciting. Market Cipher B. Now, you can use this indicator or not. I love to use it. It's really, if you want to know about it, it's just a bunch of the oscillators that I use put beautifully into a chart. Or into a graph in one visual display. It's not a magical, secret, ancient ninjutsu technique for trading. It's a lot of different momentum, kind of RSI, money flow oscillators that are put here beautifully in a way that I think is simplified. And what we see here is kind of hard to ignore. As long as this week continues to hold on to these gains and potentially more, we can get a pretty strong upward signal that has really honestly not fired very often. And what's cool is on the week for Bitcoin USD, you see this, but you also see it on total. You see it on other pairs that we'll look at, like Bitcoin Gold in a minute. And when this signal is fired, it maybe hasn't pinned the exact bottom, but it sure damn well lines up with what I'm saying with all these other oscillators, all these other indicators, that there's something to this low here, whether it's the dead cat bounce or a real rally that brings us somewhere interesting. Market Cipher B is very much on board with this. I cannot wait for the next week to start. It does seem like it's going to be very spicy. Very, very spicy. Oh, man. Pushing through. I can do it. If you guys could take a minute, hit the like button, subscribe. I know it's apparently not so spicy this morning. I haven't been live. We're live a little early. If you could help hype it up, I would appreciate that very greatly. Let's get some more likes on the stream, some more shares, some more subscribes. Let's get into that algorithm. How about that? Appreciate you. Let me get through. So we did a little bit of the Bitcoin. Cool. That's what I wanted to start with. But I have more. That's right. A lot of you maybe not even tuning in for Bitcoin right now because it hasn't moved much. We have a poll going. What do you think will close March the strongest? Bitcoin, and these are broad categories because you only get 4. I'm sweating, man. I probably still have a fever. Bitcoin, stocks, metals, or oil. The new contender, oil. I want to know your opinions. Let's go to the chart of the day quick. This is the chart of the day. It is on the thumbnail, and it is a very ugly chart of the day. Incredibly ugly chart of the day. The surprise chart is, who's that Pokemon? It is Solana. This is not even just on some random shitter exchange where you would assume this would happen. Solana, this is on Binance. On Binance. Today I woke up and I had 2 alerts, and it's one of the reasons I went live today, is I had 2 alerts for Solana back to back. It was Solana breaking 90 or breaking like 100, or what was it? I don't even know. I'm trying to remember it. Solana breaking 106 and then Solana breaking 150. There we go. Solana traded up to 183.99, which is funny because if you've been following this channel, and at this point I see the numbers today. So we don't have a huge crowd today. This is probably the people who watch all the time. You guys are the best anyway. Everybody else just gets to miss out. You've been hearing, you used to hear me yell about 190. We're yelling about 190 pretty much all the way down as the logical place to see a back test of resistance. And it's interesting that this wick shot virtually straight to it and reversed. It's interesting. Not really. I mean, it is interesting, but it's not really, I don't know, surprising in the sense of that's just how it tends to work. When you see these runaway moves, they tend to go right to major resistance and then reverse, sweeping liquidity. Here's what's awful, is this top wick is super heavy. Effectively, shorts were completely squeezed out of this pair. It traded up 100%, above 100%. That means any long leverage opened anywhere in the last month plus. So let's say virtually all leverage on Solana. All long leverage in the last month with 2x or greater. So all leverage essentially was wiped on the long side. That is ugly. This is I want to say the definition of a short squeeze, or at least it's the definition of when I say I don't want to see a short squeeze, because short squeezes tend to not go anywhere. They tend to give you a violent move to the upside and then just fizzle out and not sustain. This is what I'm talking about. You've basically wiped your order book upwards, which is good in theory, but without any of that long leverage, man. This is ugly. This is really ugly. Imagine this, to put this in perspective. If you had seen this chart rally up, flag down, and then do this, I mean, that would still be ugly because of the wick, but it got bought back up all the way. You'd probably be pretty bullish on this chart, realistically. Most of the time, in my experience, when you see these wicks, it is a bad thing. They do not tend to, honestly, they don't tend to get filled. They tend to be a harbinger of the downside. I don't even know. This happened in a 1 minute candle. You can see it on the 1 minute. It did close, which is interesting and feels so much more like manipulation. Usually these wicks are too small of a time frame to calculate. They're like less than 1 second. They're like 1 tick of the exchange. This one managed to open and actually close. Let's see if we can get it on the 1 second. There we go. This isn't right. Why is there seconds passed? 3 minutes passed? I don't understand why that. It doesn't make sense. But it managed to close a candle. Unusual. What a candle. It does remind me of good old-fashioned crypto. You can actually see, and I didn't notice this before right now, you can actually see this, I'll call it like ghost candles here, right? They're spotty. They are kind of ghostly, spectral, ethereal. This is definitely a sign of low liquidity. You can see even just earlier, hours before, these candles were thicker, more white, meaning more wicks, less separation of the candles, more liquidity, more volume. And it just began to fizzle out, and the market got just clobbered with a move. Actually, let's throw on, I don't always throw on volume, but I'm curious. What does that look like? Wow. Very sketchy. Well, my assumption was right. Volume dropped off a cliff. What happened here, actually? This is kind of interesting. I wonder if you guys have anything for me, chat. Where's the conspiracies? Because it's 2026, and all conspiracy theories are correct now. What happened to Solana on Binance on Monday, March 2nd? Look at this volume. That's when the candles became ethereal ghost candles. The volume virtually dropped to 0, and even on this crazy spike, there's almost no volume. Very weird. What in the click of the bait is this? What is it, Croy boy? You tell me. I am a Croy boy. I'm a Croy man myself. I haven't had a Croy in a while. I could go for a Croy. Yeah, let me know. This is unusual. What happened on Monday? You can see the volume just left this pair. Something, I guarantee something Monday, March 2nd on Binance, whether it had to do with market makers, I don't know. A new pair for Solana, I can't even imagine right now what would cause that. Instant 0 volume. It's not actually 0, but it's close enough. Enough that a 100% move cost virtually nothing to make. So that's the chart of the day. Definitely don't like that chart. Definitely think that it's bearish AF for Solana. Interesting, on the Solana BTC pair on Binance, we did not see any candle of any kind. Shady. This might not have happened on all their Solana pairs. Suspicious. I wanted to do a quick run now. Solana. Oil. Everyone's favorite chart this week. Oil is the talk of the town. Oil and the dollar, probably hand in hand here as the major factors for, let's say, just everything going on in the world, roughly, give or take. The dollar and oil are at the center of everything going on, and the dollar has now retested last year in November's high. It has not broken through resistance. It has retested it, but it has, with this move, painted a more bullish structure than I expected. I absolutely thought back here in January that the dollar was about to eat it and head towards 90 when it broke this 20-year ascending trend line. As usual, the dollar has faked me out, reversed, and moved back up. But with a retest here of about 100, we're beginning to see multiple tests of this resistance. And I think that might suggest upside. Now, I have a bad track record with the dollar. It just seems to do whatever, I don't know, whatever it is, I don't think it's going to do. Man. For those of you tuning in, I was sick all week. I'm still sick. I just wanted to get some streaming in for you guys because they're spicy charts, man. If you could hit the like button for me for being here, I appreciate your time. Quite a move. Quite a move. The dollar has really broken. We go down to low time frames. We were talking about an upside break into March with this nice flat top pattern. It broke our descending trend, back tested it earlier this week, and just moved on up. This is not a bad way to climb. 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of this low trend. 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of the high trend on the day. Dollar may be looking to break 100. I wonder if it's going to stay. I wonder if it's going to stay moving up while this conflict in Iran is going on. Conflict, war, oil games. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. While the dollar is moving up, there should be downside pressure across assets, and we do see that on everything pretty much except for oil. We see gold and silver. We haven't even gotten to these yet. With downside pressure on their charts today, gold breaking down below the 5100 entry. Metals are slowly looking kind of cooked. I still think gold looks better than silver, but they're starting to look kind of cooked. Multiple tests. I talked about this even last week, how we had seen 5,100 tagged multiple times. Now we've seen it tagged again this week, and we are breaking down to our range lows. That is resistance being eaten away at. That is not a sign of strength at all. At this point, we are now 43 days since gold's all-time high in January. Wow, that really went fast. That absolutely went very fast. That's a good amount of time to pass from an all-time high, especially with something that was trending so strongly. We did see this happen before. It was a little bit longer, back in October to December, 60 days. But something about this price action was different, in my opinion. Maybe that's just because we're having like a little recency bias. We'll see. Gold, you got to close 5,100 today. Closing below is really, really ugly. If you lose it, you're targeting what, 4,800 into probably Monday, 47, man, 48. You've already tested 4,600. So if you lose 48, I mean 44, you're at the range lows. Like, that's not looking as great. RSI is still stuck in the middle. You would expect during this time of uncertainty, you would expect this to continue trending up. And we kind of discussed, did gold and silver price in this conflict over the course of the last year, right? Gold and silver had the craziest years of their entire lives. They went on summer break, they went on spring break, and they just rumspringered, and they had a fantastic time. Did they price it in? I'm not sold on that yet. But with these candles, dude, this is not what I expected. I thought 5,100 was going to get a strong reaction and we were going to see a retest of all-time highs. And then we likely would be doing this price action up here. Something like that. Did not happen. Gold is on my careful list now. I don't even think I would take this position. This 5,100 long. I didn't think I'd take it. Silver, I think, is looking even worse. Silver has honestly failed to impress me since it lost its all-time high. We talked about this a lot. It had one kind of hour in the sun back in the start of March as it broke a new high from its sell-off in February. It broke a new high above like 93 and then immediately lost it. Now here we are again with a lower high and looking to retest the monthly low. Silver doesn't look great. It does not look the best. I wouldn't say it's cooked yet, but damn, it's on the grill. It's definitely on the grill here. You can kind of imagine some kind of higher low pattern with retests of 93 and a break to the upside. But losing, I'll say the 3rd of March, 78, definitely puts a lot of downside attention. I would expect 70 on silver pretty quickly, especially if we trade below 78.1 today, which is possible. Retest the low at 63. This is not the super bullish thing you're looking for, right? In crypto, we see this a lot. This chart got very excited, put on a lot of gains very quickly, huge percents. There was a lot of FOMO. We enjoyed it here because we had to live vicariously through it. We didn't really have any this year or last year. In crypto, yeah, 170% from October 25 to January. Seems like a good amount. This sell-off failed to bounce to higher highs. Damn. Failed to bounce to higher highs and like gave us one little fake out. Now it's showing weakness one more time. Money flow trickling off. Not what I want to be seeing. This weekly tells a really ugly story. Look at these highs. Gross. If both of them continue trading sideways for weeks and weeks and weeks, you can paint out a flag. I don't know, long term. But in this time, this is maybe the important part. We don't talk about narratives often because I don't find them that valuable. But in this time of uncertainty, war, conflict, you would think that these assets would perform well, and they're becoming weaker as these things escalate. Not great. Not great. Maybe it's all just rotating to oil though, right? Let's go full circle. The one asset that does not seem to mind the dollar's rally right now is oil, sitting at 96. We opened an oil long the other day. I don't know, it was Monday. That definitely got stopped or liquidated out mine. Rip. Let me see. Yep. Closed positions. Whew, a lot of red here. A lot of red on my P&Ls over the last few... actually just this year, man. 2026 has not been my trading year. Yep, there it is. Oil, dang. Minus 500. Boom. That got liquidated. Rest in peace. The rut long. Down 12%. We'll have to re-examine that as well. We'll get to that right after oil. I'll update you on them. Seemingly unfazed. Okay. From 119. 35% drawdown. Now back. 25% up. 26% up. Let's whip out our fib tool. This is definitely what we should use right now. Back to the 0.5. Zoom out. Break that down. Trend so clean. I don't think oil's done. I think oil's going to all-time high this year. What do you guys think? I don't think I've ever said that before. In the 7 years I've been live streaming and trading, I don't think I've ever said I think oil's going to all-time high. In fact, I think I've said in the past I didn't think oil would ever go to all-time high because I only saw like a lessening future of oil. I don't know. Who knows what I've said? We've said a lot of things. Oh, my voice. Let's throw this on. Week opened at 115. Big wick to the downside. Again, bought back up 93. I think above 93.7 would be a solid close for this week. Pretty much no matter how you look at it. From our swing high to our swing low this week, assuming it's in, our measured move target sits very closely to the 1414 extension of this whole move. We still have 130 to contend with on the way up. That'd be the obvious target. But what, 185 for oil? What happens with 185 a barrel? Because Iran was yelling about 200 a barrel. So what happens? What happens then? Do we all just? I don't know. We all just like stop doing stuff. We just like stop driving cars and we stop making plastic and any more petroleums. Something. Thank God the summer's coming though. I don't want this happening in the winter. Let's zoom out a little more. No matter how I look at this chart, I have not found something that gives me like 119 or 120, which is where it stopped. Kind of just seems random. Big gap here. What's up, Crypto Crank? See you, brother. Look at that. I don't know. I don't see it down. I don't see a reason to bet against oil. We could see oil retrace. I mean, I think it's going to be very narrative dependent. Every time a ship gets through the Strait of Hamas, we'll see it come down. Then every time a tanker's blown up, we'll see it go up. But I think the bigger picture is this is going to trend up until all this shit's over. And I don't think this shit's going to be over anytime soon. I'm no geopolitical expert. I'm just a chart looker. But the charts tend to be experts. And that's what I'm feeling here. At the 0.5 retrace, the momentum is slowing down a little to the upside. But man, oh man. These are beautiful waves. We have seen these recently on gold and silver over the last 6 months. Beautiful RSI hanging out here above 50, hitting overbought, coming down, resetting. I think 130. I think 130 is hit by the end of the month. What am I missing here? Everything's trying to catch up to that move. Entry wise, entry to the upside is definitely gonna be hard on oil. You guys saw my oil long. I showed you a guy got wrecked, taking that 93, and that was not a bad entry. I placed that 93 when it was at like 110. Like that was a good entry, but that is how this is gonna be. It's gonna be volatile. Honestly, any leverage position is gonna be at risk. Maybe really like a low bid of 82. down here. Wednesday's open, the reversal on the day. I can see that playing. Obviously the safest bet, but this is going to take something. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Down here at the gap, 67, 68. Stop loss probably just sitting underneath this trend line right there. I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know if that's going to play, but if it comes, I think that's worthy of a position. Damn, everything looks good. Flat top. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Just attracted to that 97. I think oil's moving up. I don't even remember if oil trades over the weekend, but either way, even if it doesn't, I think into next week, this is looking for higher than it is right now. Let's do RUT. Awesome trades on RUT. The RUT long is still open, though it is underwater now. Let me re-examine this. The short printed. I don't know, man. If markets fail to rebound from this move, we may have called the top on like all markets, which is crazy. RUT 2700 down to 2450. Solid. Look for the reverse position, and this might be too greedy. I think for 31, this might be too much. I still think long is the play at 2460 versus short. I think short was already done. But you are looking to retest that resistance. You already tested it at support once. Testing it more times is bad, is no good. But you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Stop can probably be moved up. Let me get to the chat in just a minute, guys. Don't worry. Russell trade, though, I've unchanged. I'm still in it, even though I'm under 17%. Should I close it? Probably. What do you think? Put a 1 in chat if I should close it, 2 if I should keep it open, and I'll just do whatever you guys say. Current administration's long oil? Yeah, babe. I certainly believe it. They didn't seem to think it'd be wise to stock up on oil before heading to Iran, where it was pretty obvious. I mean, like I said, I'm not an Iran expert geopolitical, but it's seemed pretty obvious. We've heard this rhetoric before that they would close the Strait of Hormuz and that would do what it's doing now to oil. So I think like within the administration, it was obvious that would happen. So were they long on oil? I wouldn't doubt it at all. To add, Brother Nature Joe, I like where you're at. I like where you're at. Just 1, 2. Oh my God. Is no one here today, Pickle? It's okay. 200 votes. Yeah, there's not a lot of people here. Crypto is not shadow banned, but nobody is watching crypto content right now. Sorry, the viewership's so low. Get it too. 1.2. Excellent, Delo. What did Crypto Crank? Appreciate all your work, brother. Thank you, Crypto Crank. Continue to learn every day. Smash the likes and get involved. You're my guy. Appreciate you, man. DJI, I can't even take credit for DJI top call. Pam Bondi took it at 50K. I just said, well, all the other ones are basically where I thought they would go, so let's call this one too. Heading down to 45,000. That doesn't seem like enough of a retrace though. Still on target, still heading down along with other indices. It really feels like US indices are like the most bearish thing. SPX, we have been waiting forever. And a day. Let me see, somewhere around here. 73 days waiting for this to roll over. Back to Monday, back to this weekly low and looking to close. This is on target. This is the trade. I think short on SPX until 6,100, and that even takes some balls here to reverse. But I do like these trades on all these indices. I like the 1618 extension back to previous high as support. Then you can move up and look for that measured move, or you cannot reverse the position. I guess it kind of just depends what you're feeling at the time. Where were we? What else did we have? Oh yeah, I forgot about these. So Yes, yes. Of course. What is this? I don't know what chart this is. This is from back in March of 25. Have not seen this chart. Spicy. Damn. You know, I'm glad I actually pulled this up. It really does drive home the importance of this 74 level, which might not be obvious right away. Not only was April's low at 74 basically in 25, but it also was March in 24. That was the new all-time high. It was like resistance, support, broken, now being tested as resistance again. This is absolutely a critical point. Like breaking above 74 can get you some momentum and liquidity to the upside, but that's going to be a strong resistance. That's not what I was looking for. Bitcoin versus gold. Here we go. I was saying earlier how there are many kind of reversal signals that have also been bear market bottom signals in the past. Not necessarily, I think, enough to say that definitively or anything, but on Bitcoin versus gold, we have that same rolling over, the same indicator on market cipher B that we see on Bitcoin USD. Bitcoin versus gold is within striking distance of the previous bear market bottom, 2022's low. Right there, 36% up. Actually, it's more than it looks. 36% up. This is one of the charts we were looking at saying, like, how can this continue without some kind of recovery, right? Like, we are so close to previous bear market lows that the only outcomes are, well, we break previous bear market lows in this bear market, which is not something we have seen almost by any metric, I want to say. Even though our all-time high was like pretty crappy this cycle, we haven't seen any of the all-time lows on these charts break for Bitcoin. Or all-time lows, cycle lows. That either that was going to happen for the first time, or we were going to reverse and go to highs, or we're just going to reverse and have some kind of dead cat bounce, right, kind of thing. Here we go. Gold, or Bitcoin versus gold, or Bitcoin's valuation versus gold did do, and maybe this is a leading factor for the dollar pair, did put on a higher high this week. That's what we're looking for here into the end of the week. The break of 74. I keep saying 47. 74. Bitcoin broke higher, signaling at least a daily uptrend for now. Money flow rolling over, not looking bad. Shout out to Adam Random for this playlist. I think he made this mix. I'll link it again in chat then. To the 50-day, the 200-day sits all the way up here. 50% gain against gold. What would that look like? 108K. That would be spooky. That'd be very spooky. I F with this, Adam. I don't even know if Adam's here, but I F with this. Deepest retracement you can get. Doesn't get any deeper than that before you're just fully retracing the move. All right. I don't even know I've been live. I don't even know how long I've been live or talking. For those of you just tuning in, I was very, like the sickest I've been since I had like colitis and shit. I think that was like almost 2 years ago. I worried I had colitis again. I don't think I do, but I was very, very sick this week. I'm still sick, but I just wanted to get on because we had some very spicy charts like Solana, and I just can't go. I just can't go that long without streaming. So forgive me for whatever it is. You know, my low energy if I'm missing stuff or if I'm being ADD. But I appreciate you tuning in today. Things are looking good-ish. Let's go back to Bitcoin. What did I miss? I'm going to need your help. What did I miss today? 40 minutes? Excellent. Damn, 265 concurrent viewers. Maybe we are shadow banned. That's very low for us. Yeesh. It's probably because I missed the move, right? Everybody tuned in 2 hours ago, and then everybody turned it off. I'm feeling a little better, Paul. Thank you, man. What's up, Verhoofty? Dave B, thank you, sir. Not so healthy kick since 2020. I feel that, dude. I do feel that. Pickle, thank you, sir. Thank you. Check the low. Check the low. Yeah. Premium. Fuck. Go ahead now. Check the low premium for the 500 strike calls on the DJX expiring next week. Or next AM. 6 days from now. Hold up. See if this will do it for me. Jeez. Yeah, dude, 263 viewers. This has got to be the slowest stream we've had in memory. But that's okay. It just weeds out. It just weeds them out. Weeds out the weekends. Wifey stated she's ready to buy her first all Bitcoin. Wick. Well done. You chose a great gal. Love you, Wick. Love you. Love both of you guys. You guys are great people. I met them. Was it in Vegas or Miami? I think it was Vegas. Great peoples. Ready to become a whole coiner, man. It's big stuff. You didn't buy it at the very top. Most people become whole coiners at the very, very top. Doing me proud, not top blasting that goal. Well done. DJX levels, 500 strike cocktails. I just told Grok to do it because my brain is cooked. I had a fever all week. My critical thinking skills dumped. Refreshing. Boom bit. What are we dumping? Yeah, the corn 71. That'd be pretty lame if we got this close and didn't break it. Rock is really slowly moving. Nashville. I heard it's in Vegas again. And it's also, I'm pretty sure the Bitcoin conference this year is during Chirp How's last FOMC in April. And so it might be the first FOMC I miss. What's up, 𝐖𝐤𝐈𝐆𝐍? Nimoy, what's good, man? In 1973, during the war in the Middle East, the price of oil increased 300%. Well, I mean, we're just warming up, baby. We're just warming up. Oil looks like it's... I think oil's going to hit an all-time high this year. It's the first time I ever said it. I don't know why this doesn't have a long history. I don't have any data for it. I believe you. It's just they didn't have futures apparently. Maybe they made futures in response to that. They're like, yeah, we can't have that happening. Nashville wasn't it. Honestly, I like Nashville more than Vegas. Vegas is not my jam. Doing great, thank you, Craig, man. Yes. Oh shit, Digital Asset Degen. Your sister has colitis. Dude, I did have colitis. I had colitis, I want to say 2 years ago. I also had shingles, back to back. Trump is moving for some reason. Bones Jones. Trump announced that he's going to have another dinner, another gala with his top token holders. AKA, Trump announced he's trying to extract more liquidity and take more bribes. Literally that's just taking bribes. That's not hating Trump. There's no other way to frame that. Anyone in the world can buy these tokens and go to a dinner with the president, private invite, that, dude. Pay the president to go to his, that's bribe. That's a bribe. It's a definition of a bribe. If you don't think that's a bribe, you're not arguing what you think. You're arguing that the definition of the bribe is different or wrong. But yeah, you announced that recently. Bros, you know exactly what's going to happen. This shit is down 94% still. Still down 95% even with this crazy 30-something% pump. send it another 94% down. I mean, let's be real. What is the tokenomics of this? Like every week, I forget how many million of these are unlocked. It's like equal to like 150 million at current prices, like a week or something, or max extract, maximum extractions. Okay, the premium for the 500 strike calls. Not find. Premium for the 500 strike calls appears low because the current DJX index level. This makes the 500 strike out of the money OTM by approximately 33 points. 7% OTM calls have no intrinsic value and derive their price solely from time value and implied volatility. Man, I don't know what this means. My brain is too cooked. Way too cooked to process all this. Everyone's crying, I'm crying. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm not crying, you're crying. Do I trade on Hyperliquid, Lucas? No, I don't use decentralized exchanges really. If and when I do, I use Antarctic Exchange. But no, there's a value proposition there. I don't think it's like bad, dumb or something to use DEXs. I think DEXs are the future of crypto and decentralization. However, I've watched them evolve. I just don't think they're quite there yet. I feel like the risks on these DEXs are equal to the risks on centralized exchanges without any of the perks at the moment. There's a use case, there's a place and a time, but no, I don't really. I've never traded on Hyperliquid. You have to make a better playlist. Let's go, Zach. This was by one of our viewers. He gave it to us on Monday. Adam Random. Here's the mix. Bitcoin is 74. Dude, I'm so dyslexic with 74 and 47. 42K. Not out of the question. Oil breaks 98. Do you think it rips? Yeah. Yeah. Learn from the best. Me, Face, Casper, all the legends. Yeah, I mean, those are good names for sure. Did learn from the best. You're here, bro. I don't know who said about this strike thing. Dude, I can't do it right now. Can't do it. And will I attend Bitcoin Las Vegas? Like I said, I don't think so. Not as it stands currently. Also, the Bitcoin conference used to foster a great relationship with me, and like as a maxi and one of the very few kind of, especially through the 21 cycle, like one of the few channels that remained maxi. I wasn't just shilling scams all the time. Like, we had a good relationship, and I felt like respected a little bit, like I wanted to be there, and that they wanted me there, and that all fell apart like last year. Like, yeah, it's like all fell apart. They got like new people, and it's just like very corporate, and honestly, it just wasn't fun. It was just like going to a business meeting, like the whole thing. I barely went to any of the conference at all, which is what I usually do, but like even less. It didn't feel like, oh, look at all these people I know, which is now maybe the only reason I would go is like to see people I know, like Wendy and the altcoin guys, and like, but like, it just feels like a bunch of strangers. And they didn't even want to give me like a free ticket. I don't know. And I don't really like Vegas too. Hosted the largest oil increase in history in Discord? Sure. I feel like this stream is shadow banned. That's okay. They take beans to the groomers. To the groomies here. But not yet. Yom Kippur War, 1973. $3 a $12. Man, $12 a barrel. Great. 490%. Am I reading this wrong, or is it like almost every bear market bottom? Does it feel like almost every bear market bottom? So financial crisis 2008, 22. It's like every bear market bottom, it seems oil jumps crazy percents. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Nimoy. Appreciate you. Whew, Kevin. Do I think Trump retests 350, bro? Why? I think Trump trades much. I think this trades much lower than 350. This coin will resume. It will resume the downing after these regularly scheduled liquidity grabs. Ben was talking about oil grab or oil runs equal bottoms. Yeah, well, Ben said it. My DCing? I'm always DCing somewhere, yeah. Too low, so I think it's a great time to start DCing for sure. What's up, Hunt Like a Wolf? It's your first bull market and now your first bear market. Well, man, I'm sorry, dude. You did not get a real bull market. So far you're getting a real bear market, but you did not get a real bull market. It's not easy. It isn't. Looking back though, the bear markets, and I've been doing this almost 10 years. The bear markets always felt terrible, especially in the beginning. But looking back, you realize that you really were made in the bear. Like in the beginning, you kind of think, oh, price just is going to go up forever, and you're like throwing in money, and you're just like kind of buying the top without knowing it. And what you don't realize, you're like, oh, it's going down. This feels bad. I hate this. But you don't realize that if price just kept doing that, you would never have actually gotten like a lot of money in, and you would have just kept buying higher and higher, and your purchasing power would have eroded so quickly that you probably would be better off without that, even though that seems like the better scenario. Does that make sense to you? Like the bear markets are the times where you actually get to like acquire the asset. In the bull run, you really don't. Your purchasing power just nukes. And Bitcoin went from 3K to 69K basically in like 6 months. Like that, your dollar lost 95% of its purchasing power against Bitcoin in like 6 months. If that were to keep happening, you would very quickly be able to buy none. And you could be like, that doesn't matter because it's up so much. And there's validity to that. We have to look at both sides of that coin for sure. Built a custom trading dashboard. I trade via API. It's your MetaMask wallet and Liquid. That's cool, Luke. That's dope, man. The one thing though that's rough about anything like that is, and well, I'm not saying you're doing this, but it's like that is such a vulnerability for anybody if they're using wallets to trade. Like any kind of program is such a vulnerability. It's such like a way for people to lose money and get drained, even if you're not, you're not doing it or you're not meaning to. Like it's something that typically I'd stay away from, like personally in that sense. What is there to do in Vegas, dude? Like, why do people go to Vegas? Just to lose money. How's that looking? How is that looking? What's up, Twilderness? Pretty much today's big. Oh yeah, you were talking about the expiring options. Wilderness, if you jump in the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown, you can put links and pictures and stuff. You might be able to explain it better. I'm still sick and my brain is still kind of like feverish. Oh shit, it's 12:40. I'm gonna have to go here too. How is ETH looking? ETH has a higher high in the week. That's actually solid. Bitcoin doesn't have that. 2,500 is calling. I think ETH's looking pretty good. I think ETH actually might have some upside on the ETH BTC pair. Maybe not tons, but ETH is looking slightly more bullish than Bitcoin. Guys, I just lost track of time. I need to take Beans to the groomer because she's a stinky dog. Like really stinky. She hasn't been to the groomer in like 2 months. Usually she goes every month. I have to actually go like right now. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry, I did my best today. I love you guys. I don't know if we were shadow banned or if my energy was off-putting because I'm sick. I was playing. But I appreciate you guys being here. I love you all, man. Have a good weekend. Maybe I'll go live if I'm feeling good this weekend. Sign up with our partners in the video description below, BYD5. Check out joincrowncrypto.com. We're going to be making some changes there. Don't sign up yet, but check it out. We're going to be dropping that price like $1 a day or something. We're going to do some different offer values as like a premium group. Yeah, no, I have to run, but I love you all. Peace out.